Good morning dear students, welcome to microeconomics classes. In today's class, we will discuss the differential amplifier, that is basic differential amplifier using MOSFET. This differential amplifier circuit is done by taking two transistors Q1 and Q2, okay, Q1 and Q2, whose source terminals are connected to a current source, and this current source is used for biasing. And this current source carries a current I. Okay, the Q1 and Q2 transistor has to be matched transistor. This Q1 and Q2 transistor to be matched transistor, and similarly the load R1, RD of both transistor which is connected to the drain terminal, it should be matched. Okay, we are going to connect two different input voltages at the gate of transistor 1 and transistor 2, and it is called as VG1 and VG2. Okay, if you connect two different input voltage, it is called VG1 and VG2 correspondingly. And the current flowing through this is ID1 and ID2, the corresponding drain currents. And if you want to take output voltages at two different points, that is at the drain terminals, this is VD2 and this is VD1. So output can be taken at two terminals, or output can be taken at the one single terminal. If you take output at this two terminal, it is called as a differential output. If you take output at a single terminal, it is called as single-ended output. Okay, this is the difference between single-ended and differential output or input. So fundamental working principle of this circuit is the Q1 and Q2 transistor are at saturation. Okay, Q1 and Q2 transistor are at saturation. This is understood in a way that the Q1 and Q2 transistor is biased using a current source. Okay, a constant current source biasing is used. Okay, now this current, whatever the transistor Q1 and Q2 is biased in such a way that, to be more precise, the transistor Q1 and Q2 carries 50% of the current which is there at the current source I. That is, the current flowing through this Q1 and Q2 transistor is I by 2. That is 50% of I. So if this is a condition, that is called as the differential amplifier. For this basic differential amplifier, if I provide two different inputs, it is called as differential input. If I connect a common input, it is called as common input. In this chapter, we are going to analyze a differential amplifier with common input, differential amplifier with the both two different inputs. Its gain in both common mode and the differential gain will be found. The large signal behavior of the amplifier is also found, and the small signal behavior of the amplifier, and finally the implementation of this replacement of this RD with the active loads is also carried out. Now, the circuitry over here, it is a passive load where the RD is the resistor. That is why it can also be called as a passive load. The fundamental working principle is very simple. The transistors Q1 and Q2, I repeat, Q1 and Q2 should be connected in such a way that, or it is biased in such a way that it is in the saturation region. The constant current source biasing is made used. Okay, and then VG1 and VG2 are the two different inputs based on the requirement. Okay, based on the requirement, I am going to make sure that VG1 and VG2 are symmetrically varied. Okay, symmetrically varied. So that is how, whether to connect a common input or the differential input, we are going to analyze the circuit. The first thing here is, if VG1 is increased, correspondingly the current will increase. If VG1 is increased, correspondingly VG2 should be decreased in such a way that we will understand those things in the differential working principle. Now we will go to the next thing for the common mode input voltage. If I want to write the output of this circuit or output of this circuit, you know that if I write before going to common mode output voltage or common mode A, if I write VD1 is nothing but VDD minus I by 2 into RD. So same thing for the second transistor, VDD minus I by 2 into RD. Now The transistors voltages, the drain voltages are found in the fundamental. Yes, the VD2 can also be written as VDD minus I by 2 into RD. So I by 2 is nothing but like ID1 for the first transistor, I should be written as ID2 for the second transistor. Coming to the common mode, what is this common mode? Common mode indicates it is a condition where voltage connected here is a common signal for both Q1 and Q2 transistor. Okay, Q1 and Q2 transistor. So this is biased with VDD, and a negative power supply to be given for both type of this basic fundamental or the differential input or the common mode input minus VSS should be given. Now, you know that the current flowing through this device is I by 2. So from the current flowing through this I by 2, I can simplify this V over drive. So I is nothing but because Q1 is in saturation, I is equal to K dash by 2 W by L V over drive square. This is for normal transistor. This is the current flowing through this transistor is I by 2. So I will take it as I by 2 and I will simplify this V over drive is equal to under root I by K dash W by L. We will keep that aside. So that V over drive voltage will be used for further analysis. Now you can observe this voltage is a source voltage. This voltage is a source voltage. Now if I provide a common input, the source voltage can be measured as just apply KVL to this. Okay, Vs is nothing but VCM minus VSS. Okay, VCM minus VSS. Now coming to the output voltage, what you need to find? Here, the output voltage is VD1 is equal to VD2 is equal to VD minus I by 2 into RD. So both transistors VD1 and VD2 are same. So therefore, the output voltage Vout, if you take a difference of this, the common mode output voltage VOCM if you denote will be 0, indicating that for a common input, the transistor rejects the common mode signal and therefore the output voltage will be 0. And finally, what is the input range we need to provide for this transistor? Maximum and minimum value. This maximum and minimum value is obtained by considering that the input voltage is applied in this way. Okay, if you consider for this case, applying KVL to this, like I have VDD, okay, minus I by 2 into RD minus this voltage to have VCM minus VT if you take, and the voltage at this point is, if you consider that to be a grounded value, that is nothing but it will be equal to 0. Okay, when you are considering from this, you have to find maximum value. When I simplify this, okay, you can observe VDD minus ID RD. Okay, take out this VCM towards right side. So therefore, that would be VCM. Okay, VCM max value would be there. So therefore, simplifying that, I get the highest value is VT plus VD minus ID I by 2 into RD. Okay. Now for this equation, the second equation is formed by applying KVL to this loop. So what is the voltage at this point? This point you have the source voltage. How do you find the source voltage? The source voltage is found by taking VCM minus VGS. VCM minus VGS is the source voltage. Okay. Now if I make use of that, this voltage, and apply KVL over here. Okay, apply KVL over here. The VCM. Okay, you can observe here VCM. So this is a voltage. VCS is a voltage across the current source. The voltage across the current source. Applying KVL to this loop and simplifying, I get minus VSS plus VCS is nothing but voltage across the current source plus VT plus V over drive. So VT plus V over drive is nothing but VGS. You know that VGS is nothing but or V over drive, to be precise, V over drive is nothing but VGS minus VT, or VGS is nothing but V over drive plus VT. So how you got this equation? This is a very simple consideration. VCM is the input voltage to this gate. Okay, to this gate. So VCM, the source voltage is nothing but VCM minus VGS. So VCM minus VGS, a drop across this is considered as VCS, and this is a negative. Applying KVL to this part, after simplification, I get VCS minimum is nothing but minus VCS plus VT plus V overdrive. The condition here is we have obtained VCS max, and how you obtain VCS minimum is apply KVL to this. You know that the source voltage is nothing but Vs is nothing but VCM minus VGS. Keep this aside. Okay, apply KVL to this. Okay, apply KVL to this. If you take this voltage as Vs, okay, apply KVL to this Vs minus VCS, the voltage across the, what is this? Voltage across the current source minus the VSS. Okay, from here to here if you apply KVL. Now the Vs voltage is nothing but VCM minus VGS. Okay, and the current source voltage across current source is nothing but minus VCS. So minus of minus can change to a plus term. So simplifying this, I get VCM is nothing but minus VSS plus VCS plus VGS is replaced with V overdrive plus VT. So that is what the VCM minimum and maximum value. So what is the final indication is for a common mode input, the output of the circuit is 0, indicating that the circuit rejects the common mode input voltage. Okay, common mode signal. So to be precise, it rejects the common mode signal. Coming to the differential input, for a differential input, how do you say that the circuit works? So same circuit, if I provide two different input, I say that VID is nothing but VGS1 minus VGS2 or VG1 minus VG2. Okay, this carries RD carries a current RD. Through RD I have ID1, through RD of this circuit I have ID2. Okay, now what is the indication here? It is to be given in a balanced way. What is to be given in a balanced way? You have one voltage VG1, you have another voltage VG2 if you consider, then it is called a differential input. Now suppose if you want to calculate the differential input, VID is nothing but VG1 minus VG2 or VGS1 minus VGS2. You keep this aside. Now what is the indication here? What you need to understand here? How you are going to steer this current I through this transistor. Okay, the fundamental basic circuit said that the current I will be divided I by 2 across through Q1 and Q2 transistor. Suppose if this voltage from this equation, normally I can observe when VGS1 is greater, case 1 when VGS1 is greater, obviously the transistor is more biased. Okay, the current whatever you have will start flowing more towards the first transistor, and the second transistor will be in a condition it will start decreasing the current. Okay, so therefore output will be a positive value. Now the condition where when VGS2 is increased, the current through this transistor increases and output will be towards the negative side. It is a clear indication to what value the VGS1 is increased or VGS2 is increased. Okay, when VGS1 is increased, current through this transistor increases, output will be in the positive direction. When VGS2 is increased, current through this transistor is increased and output will be towards the negative direction. Now, what is the maximum value of VID and what is the range of VID to be given is a key point here. This can be done if I say that I is a current flowing through this, which is equal to half K dash W by L, which is minus 50 whole square. Okay, from this equation if you take VGS1, which is equal to, simplifying this, I get VT plus under root 2I by K dash. So if I write this VT plus 2 under root, so this has V overdrive. So simplifying that equation, okay, this equation when I simplify, I get VGS is equal to VT plus under root, okay, simplifying and substituting for I get under root V overdrive. Okay, now VD max Vd max, what is the maximum value of V you can also obtain? This is can be applying cable to this tube. So Vd max, Vid is nothing but VGS1 plus VID minus VGS1 minus VGS equal to 0. When I simplify this equation and rearrange, I get VGS1 plus Vs. So what is this VGS1? We have found Vt plus 2V over right. So you have the equation when you say that minus Vt and minus Vt get cancelled. Okay, minus Vt and minus Vt. If I say that there is a threshold, okay, and to an extent then Vid max is nothing but under root 2V over right in the positive direction. So if I calculate in the same way in the negative direction, minus root 2 V over right less than or equal to Vid max, okay, under root V over 2. Okay, so in the negative direction, if I get this would be same thing minus under root V over right. The positive direction it should be plus. Okay, plus and minus. For in the negative direction for this transistor, it is minus 2 root 2 V over right. If you calculate for this transistor, you tend to get this. So the range would be minus under root V over right. So range is defined. Okay, so this is the range which should be defined. So straight indication that the differential input, okay, correspondingly should be symmetrically biased in such a way that if VGS1 or VG1 to be increased and VG2 should be decreased. So VG1 is increased and corresponding VG2 should be decreased. So that is where you say that the differential, a balanced input should be given. More precisely, I say a balanced input should be given. So in today's class, we have observed the working of the differential amplifier, basic differential amplifier, working principle of the differential amplifier when you give a common mode input, working principle of differential amplifier when the differential mode input is given. So what is the indication? It rejects the common mode signal, and then the working functionality with differential input is understood.